Hi, welcome back. Jackie Sabrin here, and I'm so glad you decided to join us for part 2 in the training with Dr. John Gray. So make sure you grab a pen and paper. He's going to give you a lot of great nuggets. You're going to want to write them down because there's so many, it's hard to remember them all. Okay, let's hear what he has to say.
Generally speaking, just to know when you're dealing with men, where they're most vulnerable is if you tell them what they do or what they think is wrong.
What they do.
Women are most vulnerable if you tell them who they are or what they feel is bad. Okay. You shouldn't be upset. You shouldn't worry about that. Well, that's silly. Well, that's ridiculous that you're upset about that. Oh, you're taking it personally. It's not about you at all. Why you make everything about you?
Minimizing feelings.
Yeah, what men do is invalidate feelings. What women do is invalidate behaviors.
Okay.
One of the ways you invalidate behaviors, women don't realize this, is by telling him what he should do. Men do, you should feel. Women do, you should do. So one of the ways you try to change a man and earn his love, which you should never earn love if you're a woman. You don't need to earn love. You're lovable. You don't need to earn it. He needs to earn it. We earn love. Your love means nothing to me if I didn't earn it. That's a very important thing for women to get. How men bond is when they can own, I did it. See, right. I got you to love me. I did something that fulfilled your need, and therefore you appreciate me. Right. But with women, you're out there, I have to work hard to get love. No, you be yourself and be your beautiful self. I told you when you first got on the show, I saw you, what a beautiful setting. You look great. You put time and attention in expressing your most beautiful self. And nobody has to be perfect. You just have to take some time and attention to nurture yourself, to be your most beautiful self that feels good, and put yourself in a beautiful environment, that do things that make you feel good. So It's kind of like be selfish. Right. Women would just be more selfish. You see, the problem is women, one kind of selfish is I do things for myself to be happy and fulfilled and creating an environment that makes me feel good. That's me, me, me. There's nothing wrong with me, me, me. It just me becomes negative when you don't do enough for yourself and you expect everybody else to do it for you. And now you're mad at them because you didn't do it for you. So, why do you, have your makeup and your earrings and your hair? Yeah, you want to be really look good on TV or on internet, but also you want to be beautiful, and you want to express your most beautiful self. That's about a kind of selfishness that women today need to find, as opposed to a kind of selfishness that says, I need you to change before I can be happy. I'm going to do what I can be happy. And, if we look back at when people were in the quarantine, there were so many divorces, in Wuhan. I teach a lot in China. I was actually in Wuhan right before the break. And the general challenges there are a bit different from here, but men and women still have the same kind of misunderstandings. But being in quarantine, divorce rates went from 12 a week in Wuhan to 300 a week. Suddenly, so many more people were getting divorced, and many people didn't get divorced, but feel like they wish they could get divorced. A lot of conflict arose. Also in America, I did some interviews with the police, and they said domestic violence was up. So what was that about? Well, that's about same thing in dating, same principle. Why the problem was there is ideal relationships, I call the 80-20 rule. The 80-20 rule is that 80% of your happiness comes from your life without depending on a man. Right. So as soon as you're not giving 80% of your fulfillment through you and looking to him like dessert, okay, he's just dessert. If men are more than dessert, you're going to be dissatisfied and he's going to feel dissatisfied too because there's too much pressure on him. Right. So you need to be happy so he can make you happier. And you're not going to be happy all the time. You can certainly use him to help you be happier, but you're not depending on him to make you happy. There's a very, very clear distinction. And so dating has the extra benefit for people where they do theoretically have their own life where they're happy. And now they're looking to a partner to make them happier. But the opposite of that is you're desperate and you're in a hurry to find somebody. The whole, I got to find the right person thing, which I come back to my basic dating philosophy, which is create a series of positive dating experiences. That's your goal. Your goal is just have a good time. Your goal is to practice being authentic. Your goal is to be able to ask what you like, ask what you want, speak up, say what you think without having to change somebody. And, you know, I gave the example of the other day, or back on the holiday with the relatives, and I noticed this resistance, and I noticed myself starting to resist back, and I had to notice it and then let it go. You got to be aware of what throws you off balance, because as soon as you're off balance, you tend to go further and further. Kind of like if you're falling over, you keep falling over. You know, if you eat 2 chocolate chip cookies, you want the whole bag, okay? Because it throws your blood sugar out of balance. So you're going to go further. So when we start becoming people pleasers, oh, we go too far. And
Right.
for women, for many women, it's that little tingle you get when you see a guy and you get turned on. Because generally speaking, women start being turned on in the brain if they're healthy. They don't have this childhood issue where they're trying to please.
Mm-hmm.
They'll find a person interesting, curious, wanting to get to know him, not wanting to have sex. When you're wanting to have sex with a guy, usually it's because maybe you haven't had sex in a long time and you remember how good it felt. But that's different from actually feeling that sexual desire. See, there's a lot of women I counsel who say, you know, we're not having sex anymore. I want to have sex. And I said, do you actually lubricate inside? Are you really wanting sex? Well, I want to have sex so that I can have those feelings. So she's missing the man desiring her and her feeling safe with him and opening up. But she's not in the place where she's really sexual. Sexuality in women happens when their heart is wide open. And their heart is wide open when their mind feels safe, when their mind is intrigued and interested and stimulated in a mental way. And then their heart is open. And that happens by him actually doing things for her. Getting a man to do things for you. That means he drives the car. That means he opens the car door for you. These are all mating rituals that we have, and they're there for a reason. You don't open the door for a woman on a date because she can't open it for herself. I used to say to my wife, if we'd have fun with this, I'd say, honey, I'm opening this door for you. I know, of course, you can open it yourself, but you do so much for so many people. I want to take care of you tonight. You see how nice that feels? You see, that's for the modern woman. Okay. The modern woman is kind of like, well, I can do it myself. Yes, you can do it yourself, but isn't it nicer to have somebody do it for you? And this is, if you're single and you're a woman, this is one of your big challenges because you're already having to do everything for yourself. And you get on your male side where you kind of go, I don't need somebody. I can do it myself. Well, you start focusing on, yeah, but wouldn't it be really nice to have somebody do things for you? Not all the time, but to have someone to lean on, somebody who can do it for you. You don't have to do it all the time. And then you go, yeah, okay, I like that idea. Now you take it one step further and realize, well, if I don't have that, I'm not going to be happy. So I need to have that. You don't need someone to open the door, but you need to have somebody in your life who's willing to open the door for you so you don't have to do it. So that's a dance. It's a little bit more complicated to be an independent woman. Okay. So you're on your male side, how to be feminine about it and how to come back to the most feminine thing there is, which is to feel I need you. You know, that I need you is falling in love. And biologically, I need you, or I go to my doctor, I need to talk to my doctor. I go to my therapist, I need to talk to my therapist. I go to my yoga class, I need to go to this yoga class to feel good. To eat food, I need to eat this food. Think about it. When you go for 2 days without eating and then you get hungry, you need food, and then you get food, you go, oh, this is so good. This is so great. You know, you feel love. Okay. Love comes from needing. And if we look at biological realities of love, for women, when they feel in love, their estrogen levels are doubling. Okay? Estrogen is a hormone that's associated with ovulation and orgasm. It's also associated with being in love. It's surrendering and allowing somebody to take you somewhere. It's when you do the old-fashioned dancing where he leads and you follow. You know, everybody's dancing their own thing now. And there is truth to doing square dancing, or that now we do line dancing and whatever. When you're following a structure, okay, you're not just freewheeling on your own. There's a benefit to that, which is belonging, but that's not full intimacy. Intimacy is where you surrender to someone and they're guiding you. But that can be in a yoga class, that can be an exercise class, so many different places, women, where you can raise your estrogen to where you can fall in love with a man. And falling in love means that your estrogen level doubles. And estrogen is produced less and less as women get older, or as women feel more independent, they make less estrogen. Unless they balance it, unless they consciously look at their life and say, where can I get help and not do it all myself? Where can I get help and not do it all myself? And when you get too far over in the testosterone land, which is where you feel I did it myself, that's a dopamine producer as well. You get proud, look, I can do it myself, so that you even start to feel embarrassed to go to your female side, which is vulnerable. It gets your feelings hurt, you're sensitive, you feel disappointment, you feel frustration, you get angry about things, you have concerns, you have fears, you have doubts, you have worries, insecurities, feelings of shame, I'm not good enough, do I deserve love? There's a whole well inside that many women just, I'm not going there, I'm not going there. And because a lot of it has nothing to do with right now. It has to do with childhood feelings.
Right.
You know, it's a buildup and it's a buildup and accumulation of distortion. Kind of like if you have a potato and you put it in a drawer and leave it there for a while, pull it out, it's got all these things growing out of it. You know, this is, you know, we have our wounds from childhood, we have our wounds from the past, and it distorts our reactivity to things. And even if you don't think you've had so many wounds,
I think they come out when you're dating. You know, they start to surface. The drawer opens, the potato's there when you're dating, because, you know, like the 80-20 rule that you mentioned earlier, I really love that. Women aren't used to just taking care of themselves. They're looking to try to create this connection, but they're missing that step in just making themselves happy, which makes them so much more attracted to a man. Like you said earlier, your job is to make us happier. We need to make ourselves happy, but we're looking for a man to make us happy. And so that's the big problem. There's the disconnect that's happening.
That is the big disconnect. And one of the things women can do, I mentioned, your happiness, by the way, will come for women when they start doing more things to create estrogen. Now that's, if you're before menopause, you do things to create estrogen after your period up to ovulation. And then at the time of ovulation, you need to keep making estrogen, but now you need to make more progesterone. So what stimulates progesterone? And that is whenever you do something for yourself, selfishness. It could be with other people, or it can be for yourself alone. Doesn't matter. It's just when it's called me time. You're doing something, even, you know, you're making dinner with a bunch of people or having a party or going to a social event or whatever, because you want to, not because you're doing it for somebody.
Right.
Okay. Progesterone is produced when you're doing something because you want it. That's selfishness. Now, in generations in the past, and we have this conditioning, oh, well, that's selfishness. You shouldn't want that. You shouldn't want that. That's old-fashioned stuff. Okay. There was a time when women were not more independent. So if women were not independent, they weren't making testosterone. See, every time you do something for yourself, I'm independent, I can do this, I can make money, you're making testosterone. You can't make progesterone if you're making testosterone. Or you can't make a lot of progesterone, we'll put it that way. So it was a different world then when women were not so independent. But once you're making testosterone, you have to consciously create opportunities for you to feel I need help, and also to feel I do things for myself. And I can need help for myself, not necessarily I need help to help my children, although that could be a way you could need help. So there's a balance there, which we have to update our relationship skills to realize that men actually enjoy you more if you're selfish, because if you're selfish, you're actually getting what you want, you're happier. All we want, all he wants is you to be happy. When you smile, that makes a man bond with you. He feels, because he always takes credit for it. If you smile, fall in love with, I
Yep.
say to the men, find a
Or-
woman who smiles and a woman who's easy. Okay, easy and smiling. The whole drama thing, run for the hills. And it's okay, women, if you've got your addiction to drama, do it with other women. Just don't do it with him. And if you want to talk to him about problems, this is now you're in the dating thing, you're going on, and he does things that you don't like and you like him to change. So it's nothing wrong with having what you want. It's knowing the right time to ask for it. Complaining never works.
Right.
But love does work. You can say, I'll tell you how my wife, for example, changed me. One way, we have a big house, and I tend to walk through the house, and there's 5 sections of it. And if I'm in a hurry, I'll just turn on lights and not turn them off, because you have to turn them off once you get through the room. And now I'm ready to turn on the light in the next room. So anyway, it wasn't a big priority for me. And for years and years and years, I would always forget. And she would come and complain, you always forget. And she'd look at me, I'm having to turn out lights again. You know, our electric bills are so high. You're always forgetting to turn the lights on. So this was like a button. Now in the beginning I did it. It wasn't such a big deal. But you know, it's understandable when 10 years later, you've told him a million times and he still forgets. That becomes this annoyance and irritation. Well, the more annoyed and irritated she was by it, the more I would forget it. This is just the way the world is. What you resist will persist. If you resist it, it persists, particularly this trying to push, trying to change. Yeah. So she tried a different tactic, and now I turn off the lights all the time. And what did she do? She said, what?
Appreciate? Like, wow.
And ask, appreciate and ask, appreciate and ask, and appreciate and ask. She said, oh, John, I was just walking through the living room and I noticed the light was on. I know so many times you do turn out the light, and I really appreciate that. And sometimes you still forget. I hope you'll try to remember, and then walk out of the room. Okay, just a simple. I hope you can remember. It'd be nice if you try a little harder to remember. You make it no big deal. See, and actually, you could even say, "This is the $1 million phrase." Whenever you want to ask, you appreciate someone. I know you do it. Turn out the light all the time, and it's not such a big deal. But I would really enjoy it if you try to remember a little bit more. And then go out of the room. Don't stare and look for him to have a response.
Right.
That's the killer part of it. You're looking for him to go, oh, I'm so sorry, I'll try. No, you're not looking. Give him room to breathe on the whole thing. Information has come in. Let it go inside, and let him then sort of gestate with it a few more times. So it took her about 3 times of just mentioning casually, oh, you know, I know you're doing it a lot, but sometimes you still forget. I'd really love it if you try to remember. And then walked out of the room. Then not a big deal, not looking for a big, I'm so sorry, or because I'm not so sorry. I have to fake that. So it was just to know. And this is something that doesn't intuitively click with women right away. But if there's a man around and you watch their reaction, when you want them to do something, you say, you know, it's not such a big deal, but the other day you didn't do this, you didn't call. I'd really appreciate if you try, and then look the other way. Just notice how when you say it's not a big deal, how a man will start to listen. He'll perk up. Because as soon as you have an emotional response of upset, men get defensive. That's it. You see, now, let's try to understand why your emotional responses to life cause defensiveness in men. Under moderate stress, there's the adrenaline response. Then later, there's the cortisol response. That's big stress and little stress. Little stress, so you're trying to please somebody. Okay, that would be one example of it. Another little stress would be you're trying to change them, whether you're frustrated with them or you're upset with them. Okay, you should do this. Okay, the shoulds come out, you know, and really underline what does should mean when it has an emotion behind it of negativity, a frustration, a disappointment, a worry. A should then is saying, I'm not going to be happy unless you change.
Right.
And that you don't ever want to give that message, but you still have these automatic reactions. They do come up. And so you try to just be nice about asking, but still tone of voice. So the way you negate the tone of voice, which might have some of that frustration of 10 years or the last marriage or your childhood, whoever it is that, oh, I have to deal with this. You just say, you know, it's not really a big deal. So you minimize, appreciate, and make a request and disappear. Okay. So these are like little dynamics to do. Now you're dating a guy and you go out on a date and a guy doesn't call you back. And you're like, okay, what's the status of our relationship? You know, he's going to call back. And there's a need for reassurance. Now, women have a greater need for reassurance. When a man climbs the mountain, has a good date, he'll forget you for a while. That's the way we are. If you have an orgasm with a woman, you go to sleep. I mean, we achieve our goal, then we detach. Okay. See, there's this whole estrogen testosterone thing. When estrogen goes high, then testosterone goes low. So after sex, for example, a man's testosterone goes half. Okay, so it's down. That's why Saturday night sex, guys are falling asleep in church or they're watching a football game. Okay, they're just it's a passive day. even God had his day off. You have to have your day of rest after having sex.
And so you're kind of detaching during that phase. But
That's
when
right.
do you come back in and we're ready to, reattach?
So the idea is, and this is biology, when a man has high estrogen, it feels great. Sex is testosterone goes higher, estrogen goes higher, testosterone goes higher, estrogen. And then what that means is testosterone is I'm pleasing her. Mm-hmm. And then when I'm pleasing her, I'm feeling more love. And now my estrogen goes up. And now I'm pleasing her. And now I feel her appreciating me. So I love her more. My estrogen goes up. So love is estrogen. Okay, this is biological. You're feeling love, your estrogen's going up. So he's going all the way. And then there's this big burst of oxytocin, which releases a huge amount of estrogen. And now he feels this wonderful moment of pleasure and connection. And now all that oxytocin lowers his testosterone. Kabang, it just crashes. Now he detaches, and for a day, he's going to be detached. This is shocking to women because for them, oxytocin released all this estrogen and they feel more bonded. They feel closer. Yeah. So she's like, let's stay connected. And now you suddenly pulled away at a time when I'm feeling connection. So that's why she has to have a life, because women say, well, what am I supposed to do? He's taking his time for himself. What am I supposed to do? And the answer is 80-20. This is where now you've got to reconnect with 80. Yeah. If he didn't pull away, you'd be looking to him for everything. Because in that brief moment of orgasm, you are looking to him for everything. He is now making you very, very happy. But you have to come back to, I can make myself happy. And men have a natural tendency to, in order to find balance, it's got an automatic reaction, is we withdraw, forcing you, in a sense, to have to look elsewhere for your love and support and not to us. Now, the problem is, he pulls away and a woman goes, oh, he just doesn't love me. I'll just have to have my 80% and not depend on him for anything. That's one of the mistakes you can make. You go, no, you have your 80%. Now I need to go back to my 80% and he needs to go back and find his 80% so we can come together and have this ecstatic experience again. It's not like, oh, poor me, I can't get everything I want from him. Right. It's like, okay, now I've got to get back to my life.
Yeah, I've got to give up my interests, my hobbies. And so, wow, this is incredible. Before we go, I'm dying to ask you this question that so many women in my community are asking me constantly is, how do we bring the exclusivity conversation forward? How do we talk about it? How do we get a man to be exclusive? And so, without giving you my opinion, I really want to hear yours and what's appropriate and how to get that to happen. Women want to get it to happen, but I don't think that's a right approach at all.
Okay, and I have a book on dating I should mention called Mars, Venus on a Date. And in there I talk about 5 stages. And the third stage is commitment to monogamy. Second stage is uncertainty. And the first stage is full going, attraction, excitement. What you have to realize is excitement and attraction will always end up with doubting. You could have your soulmate, you're destined to be together, you found the right person, you click, and 99% of the time, you're going to have to go through doubting.
Okay.
The uncertainty is natural. It's a questioning. You get all excited about the house, then you go, okay, I want to buy this house. First thing you're going to do now is going to go, okay, let's look at the cracks. Let's look at these things. That bias is going to come up.
Okay.
See, it's, when you don't have any, like, we're making any commitment, you're free to like feel your heart's open, you feel safe. But then suddenly you think about, oh, this is like the one I'm going to buy, you know, this is going to be the real one. Boom. Then you go through the uncertainty stage. Now, uncertainty stage is often when women are looking for that commitment. You're looking for reassurance at that point. Well, I don't know if he's the one. I don't know if he loves me enough. So you need to go through your uncertainty instead of like instead of looking, does he love me? That's where you look at, do I love him? Okay. And that's also, you kind of come back to your 80% at that time. You say that needing the commitment is a desperateness. And you want to go over to him and pull him out. And because what's happening over with his side is he sort of lost himself in you, lost himself in love. He merges with you. You see, that the thing about men is when they're with you, they go into you, they lose themselves. You're pulling him into you, becoming one with him, but he's going out of himself. Now he needs to come back to himself. He's going to pull away. When he pulls back, your need for commitment at that time will cause him to go further. And women have experienced that. You know, you can feel that. You don't want to talk about it. You don't want to go there. So it's like he's a rubber band. So when he pulls away, that's when you need to stay firm and not pursue him and not look for reassurance, but to look to your 80% to find your happiness and find patience. And, you know, it's like if it's your horse, give him freedom and they'll come home, kind of a thing. He'll come back to you. And so you don't ask a lot of questions at that time. You sort of give a little bit. You might even say you're kind of give the cold treatment. You know, I'm not so sure. So what women typically do is, I'm not so sure, I need you to reassure me. Right. Instead, it's, I'm not so sure, I need to take some time and reflect and go back to my 80% and find my happiness not depending on you. He needs to pull away and find his 80% and then miss you and come back to you. Then when he comes back to you, so then you're feeling more connected again. A lot of the doubts of sort of your need for reassurance is going away. That's when you, I mean, I'd be a little old fashioned here and not everybody has to follow this, but in an ideal world, that's when you have sex with him, is when he's willing to commit to you. And the commitment doesn't have, this is not marriage. This is just that you're going to have sex with me and you're not having sex with anybody else. Right. That's all I care about. You know, I don't want to control. I'm giving you some words here. You know, for me, first of all, in the stage 1 of attraction, he wants to have sex with you. Okay. So you're all excited and you're kissing, whatever. And then what you have to do as a woman is recognize if you have sex too soon, he has to pull away into doubt much greater. Okay. His tendency to pull away will be greater. Okay. You may never come back either, which is the one night stand. Okay. He needs the time to fully bond with you, because after sex, men all have a drop in testosterone. And testosterone creates that attraction back. So he needs to have many experiences where his testosterone went up with you that didn't have anything to do with sex. Yeah. See, if sex is the only place his testosterone goes up, well, he burns out after he ejaculates. There's nothing there. Then suddenly he looks at another woman who he didn't have sex with, and it comes right up. But for you, it will take time because he already did you. I mean, these are like biological things. We know this is a reality. If a man's doing internet porn, for example, we have millions of statistics, data now showing that if a guy gets off with one woman, he wants another woman, another woman, another woman, another one. The nature of men is to, if their testosterone drops in sex, to go find another one and go find another one. If, however, there's time where he had many experiences with you where he felt successful, his testosterone went up then, his testosterone went up then. Each one of those positive experiences with you is a bonding. Then when he has sex with you, his testosterone drops, but his body remembers, I'm still bonded with her. Right. You don't want to rush the sex thing, but sex is so free today. And women, one of the ways you do people pleasing is to have sex before you want to have sex, or you have sex with the wrong guy. I'm telling you, if you meet a guy you want to have sex with him, almost always he's the wrong guy. Remember we talked about that. You first need to get to know somebody, then you need to feel loved by somebody, then you have real authentic sex desire. Otherwise your sex desire could be just trying to hold on to him, trying to get him to, you know, want to be with you, and has the opposite effect. You're trying to change him. So having said all that, again, I'm not like some puritanical person here, but you're making out with him, you're kissing him, you like to kiss, you like to get close. At a certain point, you realize he wants to go all the way. It's expected. Everybody else is getting laid. You're looking on TV, every one night stands all over the place. So how do you reject him from having sex without him feeling rejected? This is the magic. It's a phrase, or you could say it many different ways. You basically say, oh, this is so exciting. Can't believe it. I love you so much. I'm enjoying this so much, as you sort of pull back. and then he says, oh, well, let's go further. Then you say, oh, I would love to. I just need to go slow. And he'll argue with you. Why? Why go slow? You know, and he says, oh, I just need to go slow. No need to give any more information. You repeat. That's called the assertiveness technique, is to repeat. Don't give more information. That's allowing him to use logic. And, you know, I don't know if older guys do this, but I know the younger guys do this, and they'll say, don't you trust me? You say, of course I trust you. Well, let's do it. And you go, oh, I would love to do it. I just need to go slow. We need more time. How much more time? Oh, not that much. We'll just take it easy. We'll just go slow. I really appreciate you a lot. He hates hearing it, but his ego is not hurt. You see, I learned this. I'll just tell a funny story to help women remember this one. If I have time, let me see what the time is. Here we go.
We're almost out of time.
Oh, we're almost out of time. I won't tell the funny story. But the bottom line is, my wife was learning how to say no to me. We're practicing. She always felt like she had to say yes to everything I want. And so that night I was wanting to make love with her, and she says no. And I went, wait, why? Why, you don't want to make love with me? She says, yes, I'd love to make love with you, but I'm practicing saying no. And I said, couldn't you say no to anything else? And she says, no, because I know this is what you want the most. And I realized, and then all I had to say, so you really do want to have sex with me. You just don't want to have sex right now. And she said, that's right. And then I felt satisfied. 90% of why a guy wants sex with a woman, he wants the message that she wants to have sex with him. So go slow, go to the pulling away period. And then if he doesn't call you back right away, don't call him up and be upset with him or interrogate him or why didn't you call me? That should just not be in your vocabulary. But you can send him text messages and say, oh, I went here, I'm thinking about you, or have a question about something he's good at. It's not a shaming or a seeking reassurance, but an informing that you're not mad at him. Because you have to realize, for men, so many women get mad at you when you don't call back. It's almost like, why doesn't he call back? You're one of these, another jerk like that. That a man could actually not call you back for 2 weeks and then go, oh, I'd like to call her. But then he's afraid to call you because he's afraid you'll be mad at him because he didn't call you, because he forgot. Because guys do that. They're not like women, not looking so much reassurance. He got the reassurance he needed when you had an orgasm, right, or when you got naked for him. He's done, you know, I got that need satisfied. So that's given the space to pull away, don't pursue. Then you get the commitment. Then you basically say, you know, he's making the moves. When is it time? You say, well, actually, I feel most comfortable having sex. We can do lots of things together, but have intercourse. I feel most comfortable if I know that you're not going to be having intercourse with any other women. And he can say, well, why? And I says, then I feel that when I open my heart that I'm number one. Okay, that's it, that you're number one. You should be, if you're going to open your heart to him, you should be number one. You shouldn't be number two or number three. And unless you know, that's a lifestyle you want. There's people who are polyamorous, and that's their choice. And if you want to be that, then you're not looking for making that commitment. So, but this is the woman who wants that commitment.
Verbal confirmation. You have that discussion, get that verbal confirmation.
Before you put it in.
Oh man, I've really enjoyed this conversation, John. You have so much wisdom to share, and I know the women in my community are going to be floored to watch this video because you dropped so many great nuggets along the way. Tell us a little bit about marsvenus.com and the great work you're doing with your daughter, Lauren. I know the ladies here, you provide so many great resources. I was looking at your website earlier, and lots of awesome trainings. And tell us a little bit more about your work with her.
Well, Lauren's now 34. You know, she's grown up with me. She's like better than me. She understands all this stuff because she also has a woman's point of view. She knows my point of view. And we've been teaching together for 10, 15 years now, practically. Now, she has her own classes. One of her classes, which is really great, called How to Get More Me Time, which is really going to be changed to how to be the feel-good woman, learning how to, many of the things I've been talking about, but she does a lot of great coaching with it and a whole course. We have a free course we do together. For anybody who comes to the website, they can come, and it's how to get what you want in your relationship, how to get more in your relationships. So that's a 4-day class that we do together for people for free.
Wonderful.
So you go to marsvenus.com, free class.
Okay.
Also there, if you go to the wellness section, there's these natural supplements that I'm all into: spirit, mind, body. Okay, we've really been dealing with mind and heart today, but not so much body. And body is, there's certain natural supplements that dramatically help your ability to balance your hormones, increase more estrogen, lower stress levels in your brain. And the one I would suggest you go to first is the one on happiness. There's, I have a whole bunch of symptoms, happiness. Go there and find the supplements for happiness. And stress reduction is another one. Because the happier you are, the more attractive you are to men, the more you're going to bond, the happier you'll be in your life. So there's the wellness section. There's the free seminar that you can take right at the bat. And then you can read about my book, Beyond Mars and Venus, which is a lot of the ideas I talked about today.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much. And we'll drop the link in the box below and you can check that out. And John, again, thank you so much. I have so much gratitude and appreciation for you taking time out of your schedule to speak to me and my community today. And hopefully we'll
Appreciate it a lot.
connect really soon. You take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.